Welcome to the Lady J podcast. I'm Lady J on stage and Janelle Thomas the rest of the day. I'm a full-time gigging singer, a band leader, an entrepreneur, a mom, a wife, and a creative person with the soul of an administrator. As a senior in high school, I was voted best musician. And even at the time, I remember thinking, yeah, okay, very nice. Thanks, everybody. But this is strictly like a high school thing. I'm not going to spend my life doing this. The idea of making a living as a musician was so far out of reach that it was not even on my radar of options. And yet, each time I tried to study something else or be normal and try to embrace a nice, tidy 9-to-5 job, I would feel stifled and be absolutely miserable. So for a few years, my pendulum swung between gigging musician, total job instability, and regular paychecks, soul being crushed. And I could not see how I was going to resolve that. In the fall of 2005, I had just quit my very nice, very well paid, very cushy bank admin job because for the past 6 weeks, I had been crying every day that I had to go to work. And not like a tear or two and a sniffle, like wake up and start weeping, and eat peanut butter toast and weep, and shower and weep, and feed the cat and weep. And I thought, this is fucking mental. I can't do this. This is not a life. The job and the coworkers were so nice, but it just wasn't for me. And so I was kind of floating in that like post-resignation relief, when you've managed to reclaim your freedom, but still have the warm fuzzy of collecting a paycheck. And I was out for lunch with my best friend, and we ran into this musician that I'd done a couple of gigs with around town. He invited me to join his band on an overseas contract to a country that I'd never heard of. And I was just so ready for something else that I said yes. And in January 2006, I landed in Muscat, Oman for a 4-month hotel residency gig. In August of that year, the band leader hired a new guitarist, this 22-year-old kid named Felix with gap teeth and this commanding energy on stage and an industriousness and a care for the music. And he and I have been gigging together ever since. And somewhere along the way, we got married and we had a couple of kids. We played nearly 3,000 shows together in our career and continue to do hundreds each year, me as lead vocalist / band leader, and him as guitarist / musical director, which is how it shakes out even when we're a duo. For the first decade of our partnership, we performed with our band on hotel residencies in 4- and 5-star hotels in Asia and the Middle East. Depending on the gig, the band would be made up of 5 to 7 band members, and we would play loud, high-energy, top 40 songs for audiences that were a mix of locals, expats, and tourists. We lived in the hotel or staff accommodation and would gig 6 nights a week for months on end, then pack up and move to the next destination, rinse and repeat. It was grueling work and full of frustrations, but I loved it. I felt like it was where I belonged. That rhythm of life and those gigs brought us to Dubai in 2015 to the Music Room, where we were in residence for about 2.5 years. When the venue was shut quite suddenly in 2017, I was already 4 months pregnant with our first son. Felix and I were able to immediately pivot to freelancing, and the following week, we began the next phase of our career with a Tuesday night residency at a Hard Rock Cafe. Since then, we've been freelancing full-time in Dubai, playing restaurant and lounge weekly residencies, corporate gigs, and private parties. We're working parents, so during the day, we're juggling raising our 2 brilliant, gorgeous, talkative, and demanding boys with all the behind-the-scenes prep work necessary to go out in the evenings and gig. We make it work. But for much of the last 2 decades, and as most parents of small children will confirm, I've not really thought about how I was doing what I was doing. I was just head down, doing the gig, working at lining up the next gig. And then I was having babies and just trying to make it through the day and somehow find time to nap and pour a gallon of coffee down my throat so that I could make it through the gig, so that I could have a small child whack me in the face before 6 o'clock in the morning to wake me up and do it all over again. So I didn't stop to examine what was happening. I just kept grinding. I leaned into my reputation as a hard worker and a high volume performer, just kept performing. But in the last couple of years, the needs of our family have changed, and my physical and mental health have totally tanked. Really, I felt like shit. And pushing through and grinding harder made it worse. So I've had to take a minute and zoom out to figure out how I'm going to go on. The process of taking stock has made me realize, holy crap, I've been doing this for nearly 2 decades. When the hell did that happen? How did I do that? Like, am I actually living up to the expectations set in my high school yearbook? Oh my God, I'm actually a working musician. I'm doing it. Oh my God, how am I doing it? Because I'd like to keep doing it. So for the last 2 years, I've been thinking about this critically. And I've been having conversations with my friends and other industry people here in Dubai. I want to know how everyone is doing it. I want to know where they're struggling. I want to know where we can do better. I want to know where we need support and someone else needs to do better for us. These are the things that we talk and we joke and we rant about long into the night, usually over many, many beverages. And the insights definitely get more profound as the hours tick by. But I think that they also hold up even in the garish light of day. So here they are. These are conversations with fellow professionals involved in the business of live music in some way. We're musicians, agents, DJs, venue managers, event planners, AV company owners, educators, even dedicated live music audience enthusiasts. Some of us wear several hats. But we're all here because we believe that live music matters, and we've made it a big part of our lives. We're not famous. We are not social media superstars. We are quietly making perhaps not so quiet music in bars, restaurants, lounges, and at corporate events. We generate our income from being in the room with you, moving the air, making the music that moves you. And it is possible. We're doing it. This podcast is conversations that are as much for my benefit as anyone else's. I want to continue this career for decades, and I want to know how to do it in a way that is healthy, fulfilling, and as financially rewarding as possible. So if you haven't done any gigs yet, but you'd like to, I hope this helps you get started. If you gig already, I hope this helps you get more gigs. If you're not a part of this industry, but you're curious, I hope that this helps you understand what life is like behind the scenes. And to the cause maybe closest to my heart, if you are a gigging musician and a mom, I want you to know that I see you. And it is possible to do both. I hope this helps you keep going. This podcast is 100% a work in progress. I'm learning to dive in. I'm trying to be brave, not worry about being perfect. This is episode 00 because we already recorded our first conversation and I realized that I hadn't even let you know who I am and why I think all of this is important. So I hope that you tune in next week for our inaugural conversation with the larger-than-life character that is Mikey Reed, who is a bass player and a dear friend, and we are talking about how to be a good band member. Please come back next week and join us when I will be talking to Mikey. Thank you for being here with us. I hope you come back. I'm Lady J, and this is the Lady J Podcast. The Lady J Podcast is hosted and produced by Janelle Thomas. It's filmed, recorded, and edited by Felix Frechette, who also wrote the theme song. Technical assistance provided by Theo Frechette. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave us a review on Spotify or drop a comment on YouTube. For inquiries, please reach out to me, Lady J, at ladyjmusic.com.